The Morgul-Blade is a specialized biological delivery system engineered for pathogen transmission rather than kinetic tissue trauma. Its metallurgical composition is thermodynamically unstable, causing the weapon to degrade rapidly when exposed to standard atmospheric conditions. As the metal crumbles into ash, the rapid absorption of ambient heat induces severe, localized hypothermia in all immediately surrounding physical matter. This physical degradation ensures the blade shatters upon impact, leaving a brittle fragment embedded within the host to release the fragile pathogenic payload. The pathogen functions as a level 4 necrotic biohazard, requiring deep penetration of the dermal layers to activate its primary infection cycle. Where standard weaponry relies on laceration and hemorrhage, this mechanism uses a single puncture point as a pressurized entry port for the toxin. This microscopic delivery rendering standard trauma care and surgical extraction essentially useless against the payload once it has exited the metallic vector. The mechanics of the initial puncture create a narrow, deep entry wound that seals the fragment beneath the epidermal layer. Once embedded, the metallic shard reacts to internal body heat by liquefying into a cold, viscous, dark fluid. The host's immediate biological response is a state of absolute vasoconstriction, where the surrounding capillaries instantly and violently constrict. The puncture site exhibits a total absence of a hemorrhagic response, leaving the wound completely bloodless. This lack of bleeding indicates the necrotic fluid has instantly paralyzed the localized immune and inflammatory systems, preventing the delivery of white blood cells to the breach. Localized paralysis prevents the host from isolating or flushing the foreign contaminant through traditional cellular swelling or drainage. The pathogen's first objective is securing this uncompromised beachhead, effectively bypassing the host's natural chemical blockades to begin its internal migration. Tracking systemic migration requires shifting focus to the subdermal vascular network. The liquefied necrotic agent hijacks the circulatory system, using blood flow as a rapid transit network toward the core. Healthy cells in its path undergo instant, violent apoptosis, crumbling as the black fluid passes. The pathogen executes a systematic rewrite of biological structure, prioritizing structural conversion over immediate termination. The fluid actively seeks out the cardiac muscle, ignoring non-essential organs to preserve its forward momentum. This migration phase is characterized by plunging core temperatures and a rapid, compounding degradation of the host's sensory systems. The pathogen acts with systemic intelligence, intentionally sacrificing peripheral tissue to preserve a clear, unobstructed pathway to the host's heart. Slowing this progression requires the introduction of the specific botanical compound athylase. This comparative slide shows the extract being rapidly absorbed into the infected vascular pathway to confront the advancing necrosis. A violent chemical reaction occurs, where the botanical extract collides with the necrotic pathogen, instantly freezing the surrounding tissue into a rigid, slate-gray stasis. The botanical intervention acts exclusively as an aggressive chemical blockade, neutralizing the pathogen's forward momentum. This reaction does not constitute a cure or a reversal of the necrotic damage already sustained. This blockade places the host organism into a state of terminal rigor mortis suspension, stalling all biological activity. The athylase intervention merely stalls the pathogenic advance, trapping the host in a suspended state of cellular decay without neutralizing the underlying biohazard. The vivid green botanical blockade experiences a gradual chemical degradation as the athylase compounds lose potency. The pathogen possesses a compounding necrotic half-life that eventually overcomes all known biological and pharmacological defenses. When the necrotic fluid finally breaches the chemical barrier, it resumes its rapid systemic migration through the arterial pathways. The pathogen successfully anchors to the host's heart muscle, initiating the final stage of the infection protocol by permanently severing its electrical pathways. The host experiences an immediate cessation of cardiac function and a halt of all circulatory flow. Conventional medical metrics would classify the host as deceased at this exact moment. This cessation of standard physical biology signifies the successful completion of the pathogen's incubation phase, clearing the way for the emergence of its secondary form. With the physical heart neutralized, the pathogen triggers terminal conversion, a transition where the host's energy is translated from the physical world into the unseen spectrum. A rapid physical desaturation process occurs, as all remaining biological matter loses structural integrity and pigmentation. The pathogen forcibly shifts the host's energy and structure into the unseen, a dimensional translation revealed by the physical body's loss of color. The original physical body is left behind on the table, cold and unresponsive. This remaining physical matter is discarded biological waste, entirely devoid of consciousness. The newly synthesized wraith entity now exists within the unseen spectrum, possessing a humanoid form but lacking all individual autonomy. This new entity is permanently bound and subservient to the original source of the pathogenic vector. The lethal kinetic strike initiates a total biological and dimensional rewrite, weaponizing the host's anatomy for permanent servitude.